dominance in the playoffs. If it's not going to be the Seahawks, I want it to be the Cardinals. So, yeah, I don't want to see this team lose any more players before the playoffs. I believe, though, that the Cardinals, and it hurts me to say it, I believe that the Cardinals are going to win 28-17.
Yeah. I think this defense is – you're not going to rest your defensive starters, and I think the defense makes this game. I think Arizona's defense is just too much for that offense to overcome. Doug Baldwin, 2 catches for 10 yards.
You had to finish how we started, huh? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the Vikings, this is the one that's the Sunday night game. It has been flexed into Sunday night, are going to Green Bay to take on the Packers. The Packers, who were humiliated, embarrassed, stomped on, just completely annihilated by Arizona last week. Do they recover and play a good game against the Vikings? Or is this young, vibrant, thrilled to be around in this level of football, the new team, the Vikings, do they show a statement of how powerful they could be heading towards the playoffs?
Oh, God, I would love to think Green Bay comes out and just really asserts themselves, but here's the problem. Anytime Green Bay comes out and has a good game like they did against Minnesota, and you think, like, yes, this is they come out and do what they did against Arizona. That was unbelievable. That was ugly to watch. I felt bad for my wife is a diehard Packer fan. I felt bad watching the game. She would ask me, what's the score? Is it? And I would be like, it's 28. They just scored again. It was ugly. So I just felt bad. Who knows? And this is it. I had Rodgers on my fantasy team. And you know what happened this year? This happened to me once, 4 or 5 years ago with Ben Roethlisberger. Once you pick up a guy, and I've had him 2 years in a row, and he burns you 4 or 5 games, you just can't trust it anymore. I can't believe that Jordy Nelson was such a huge deal to this team. It was obvious. No one else can get open. Rodgers is just gun shy now and skittish, and it's just ugly. I think Minnesota wins this game.
Okay. All right. I say that Minnesota does also win this game, and I see it by a tune of very close, 31-28, and a last-second field goal being the deciding factor that ends up wide left. The thing is that the Minnesota Vikings have nothing to be ashamed of here. They have put together a team that is in playoff contention when nobody thought that they would. Everybody was talking about the Packers. Everybody was talking about the Lions. The Vikings were an afterthought even after the Bears this year, as people had high hopes that Fox was going to come in and automatically resurrect that team. However, the Vikings, you are my team of 2016. You are the team that I give the highest amount of credit towards, as you have shown ability to hang tough even after some weird and terrible losses to even like Seattle in your home stadium. You came out and you put it together, and for 2016 or 2015, you are my team, my comeback story, my Cinderella story. Thank you so much for such entertaining football. Matt, do you have a Cinderella story for 2015, the team that you think has really outplayed themselves from top to bottom?
Yeah. Do you even need to ask that? My Chiefs started 1-5. They secured a playoff spot last week. Of course, that's the Cinderella story. Man, they went 1-5 and everyone down on them. The Chiefs. I knew it. Yeah. Now they have played back to where they are. And I just read a thing today. If you look at DOA metrics, and those are metrics that take in everything, strength of schedule, how good the opponent is, all of this stuff. Right now, they have the number one ranked, according to those metrics and other ones, the number one ranked rushing offense in the NFL. They have the number 4 ranked overall defense in the NFL. And this takes into account everything, strength of who they're playing, different teams, all sorts of stuff. This team is playing out of its mind. They have a way better defense than anyone understands. They're playing very, very well. And Alex Smith, last week, if you saw him make that pass over the middle to Macklin, that is not a throw he would have taken ever in his career. His confidence is up because he's been taking these shots. If he's throwing the ball like that and they're willing to go downfield, I think this is a really, really dangerous team. For the first time, I'm starting to get excited that we actually have a shot, at least to go past the first round. But just that they've come back and they have made the playoffs after a 1-5 start. They went in and finally beat Denver to just brutalize them. That's obviously, not just being a homer, but that's my Cinderella story of the year, and I couldn't be happier.
Ben Morrill of JockJournal.com has put together a Week 17 power rankings. He only did the top 16 teams, as the rest of them really are not significant enough heading towards playoffs to continue writing out a whole long story of who's number 28, 29, 30, yada, yada. His number one pick was the Arizona Cardinals, and I don't think anybody after the Carolina Panthers loss and the way that Arizona dominated Green Bay could disagree with his pick there. Number 2 still being Carolina. Number 3 was the New England Patriots. Number 4 is the Denver Broncos. Number 5 is the Cincinnati Bengals. And he put number 6 as the Kansas City Chiefs. How does that make you feel to know that you're now in that higher echelon contention on power rankings?
Ben's awesome, and I really like him. I think, look, if you're ranking Denver anywhere in that scenario, I think you're out of your mind. Denver has proven time and again that they're very, very beatable. I just don't think they should be considered an elite team. Or I don't think they should even be within that list. The other ones, yeah, I'm fine with. Cincinnati Bengals as well. I think they're beatable also. I would put the Chiefs ahead of both of those teams. But this year the Bengals put a beating on us pretty good, and they have a lot of weapons on offense. I don't think that the Denver Broncos are elite, and I think they go out first round of the playoffs.
Okay. Provided they play in the first round of the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Oh, they will.
Because they still have the opportunity to secure the. They're still in contention for that number 2 spot. If by chance the Cincinnati Bengals lose and the Denver Broncos win this week, they will clinch the number 2 playoff seed for the AFC. The number 7 in this case, and I'm sure you're going to love this, is actually the Seattle Seahawks. So the Kansas City Chiefs have passed up the Seattle Seahawks in power rankings for the first time across the board. I have not found anybody who has the Kansas City Chiefs still behind the Seahawks, not on Jock Journal, not on NFL.com, not on ESPN. So congratulations to those Kansas City Chiefs. And yes, that's a very powerful and very good Cinderella story. But with that, it's time to talk about history. And it's time for everybody out there to name that year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite show. We will play a sound clip, and if you can guess the year this clip was live, you will be eligible for big money.
When we say big money, we're actually only talking about $50 gift card. It will raise as time goes on, and every month that we do this with more and more participants, we will find more money for that jackpot. But right now, we're starting off at a nice $50 to keep you motivated and interested. The first clip is 1 minute and 42 seconds long. Go ahead and text 77948. Type the word text and then the year that you hear. The text will tell me what your phone number is, and I can go ahead and get in touch with you. If you are the winner selected, after this show, Matt and I are going to get together, and we're going to figure out which one of these contestants deserve the $50 gift card. For the name that year, it's done completely random. For the Shock the Jock, that's done on a more selective basis. Here is the first clip for Name That Year.
Barr if he should miss, and he'd never know he got on the airplane if he makes it. Timeout 49ers. Let him think about it a little bit.
Also lets the coach think about it. Lets the rest of the players. But you notice, Pat, how they always leave the kicker alone? The Giant offense is up there all by themselves on the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is about 5 yards back. No one ever gets. These guys are off on the sidelines. The team that is going to block for Barr is on the line of scrimmage, and Matt Barr is off by himself.
That is a lonely world, believe me.
In fact, he's inched up a little closer to him. He was about 10 yards away from him, and now he's kind of inched up where he wants some friends. But Matt Var's a veteran. You know, I mean, he's a guy, he wrote on a book for me one time. He signed a guest book, and he wrote journeyman kicker, 13-year veteran, so he's been in a lot of these situations.
He also wrote one time, I'm not just a kicker, I'm a player. And the kick is good. There will be no three-peat.
That was such
The
an
Giants
interesting
win
game.
it 15-13.
The Giants win it. So we're not going to give you any more hints. You all heard the clip. You tell us what year that was. You can email us at radio@jockjournal.com. That will allow us to find out if you're the winner, how to reach you. You can also fill out those forms, tell us where you are, but please sign it and give us a way to contact you so that way if you are the winner tonight on that Name That Year contest, we have a way to reach out to you. Now, this one is a famous moment that many of you will remember. This one, I remember where I was standing when this particular play happened. If you've been a sports fan for the last 20 years, you'll know it right off the bat.
If they do, they need it now. Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25.
Yeah,
pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's
40,
got something.
50,
He's got it.
40,
He's got it.
20, 10.
He's got it.
End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle. A miracle for the Titans.
All right. Wow. Matt, I know you couldn't hear it, and I can't tell too much about it because it'll tell everybody about what's going on here. But every time I hear that clip, I get goosebumps. I love that. I love that call. I love that announcement. It was a moment in sports history I will never forget. It was one of the greatest games ever played, and it had the most wonderful finishes of all time. And I want you out there in Radioland, all you Jock Stars, to go ahead, text in what you think those submissions are. We're getting text all over the place. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have come in, and it's a great. People were able to nail these. Getting them all over the place. The 404, the 904, the 702, the 360. That's some good stuff. Thank you so much for playing along and Name That Year. We're going to be playing this game every night over the next year. So we hope that you're going to play along with us and that all of you are going to win money. Yes, Jock Journal employees are eligible to win. Matt, before we sign off, is there any last deep thoughts that you want to provide somebody for 2015?
Nope.
That was Matt's deep thought.
Yeah. I don't do deep thoughts. I do deep thoughts by Jack Candy, though.
Perfect. My thought for 2015 is that this year has had some major ups and downs, but through some of those major downs and most terrible of moments in my sports year, I was able to put together Jock Journal. And I am very happy for what it has become. I'm very thrilled with all the writers and all the talent that are behind the Jock Journal name. And I am super thrilled that in only 3 to 4 months, what we have created, I can only imagine the empire that's going to be built through 2016. And I am so grateful and fortunate to have every single person behind us.
Yeah.
But with that...
Hey, wait, I will. I'll just say I want to definitely, I know we're going over 2 seconds. I wanted to thank you for doing this. Very grateful for it. And then I'll share a deep thought with you real fast. I can picture in my mind a world without war and a world without hate.